Hello, the day's finally here. I finished all 6 of my bee books for now. I used up probably, let's say 7/8 of the first paper pad. I wouldn't have needed the second one to get them all done. But there was a certain amount of freedom in knowing that that other pad was there. I could use paper with abandon. So I'm happy to have had it, and I will make more. I just need a break right now. I'm anxious to get them shown, get them listed, and move on. But for right now, I'm going to do a walkthrough. And this may end up being a 2-parter. I'm going to go relatively slowly on the first of each of the 3 types, and pretty quickly on the second. So here's the first one. This is one of the passport size. It's pretty straightforward. I have the same fabric, my bee fabric, on all 6 journals. The ribbons or the closures are similar but different on all of the Traveler's Notebook size, the 2 passports and the standard Traveler's Notebooks. And the embellishments on the outside are pretty similar. So I think, yeah, we can just slide this off. We don't have to untie it. And so this is a piece from the paper collection, this little queen bee. And it's just 2 pieces of tulle in black and yellow behind this cardstock backed piece from the collection. And so you open it, and on the inside I put the beehive paper with a little pocket and a little lace trim, a couple of tags, and my tags are all over the place, I'll tell you that right now. But this one is embellished in gold with some of the washi that I bought with the honeycomb pattern on. And this one is also embellished, but it's in black on a piece of the honeycomb paper on a manila folder scrap. So there's those 2. I love this paper. This is my favorite paper in the collection. I just love the bee skeps. But it's not very journalable, so every time I use a piece of this, I always put some kind of a little paper pad or a little booklet or something like that, so that you could actually do some journaling there. So this is just a few sheets of paper enclosed in a little, I stapled them together and then covered the staples with, nope, I didn't cover the staples. I just used a piece of the cardstock to enclose the ragged edge up here. So that's that. And this back here, just another, this is just a stamp and a little word sticker that says bee. This was actually legal paper from the Dollar Tree, and when I coffee dyed it, all the lines disappeared. But I kind of like the effect of that sort of mottled yellow. So that's that. In fact, and this is more of that. This is actually a paper scrap. It says Queen Bee and more of that tulle. This is actually a ribbon that came with the little packet of ribbons that belonged to the paper collection. And did some stenciling. Well, not stenciling, it's rubber stamp actually. One of the pretty papers from the collection. Some gathered, very loosely gathered ribbon that I had in my stash with some black cord and black and yellow. And this is a little fabric flip on which I've stamped the queen bee and put a little bead charm on a bulb pin. And that's more of the, no, that's just coffee dyed paper that got really yummy dark. And this says honey. I don't know if that shows up very well. Just some more layered bits and pieces of fabric and lace and whatnot. Another embossed, gold embossed Queen Bee on that paper. This is just a little layered, a glassine bag with a tag. Nothing special about the tag. I did use standard reinforcements on all the tags, and I colored them with mustard seed distress ink before I just did a whole sheet of them. Actually, I ended up doing 3 sheets of them until I was done. And this is just a hodgepodge of bits and pieces, some of that, a piece of the legal paper, and then an embellishment from the package, and a little bit of that washi tape on the glassine bag. And I got my glassine bags from Pre-Paint Cottage, my friend Diane H's Etsy store. This is just a little pocket with 3. Is this the 3 one? No, this is the 2 one. 2 little tags. These both were on that page on the inside cover of the paper pad that had tags to cut out. And I just used some white waxed twine that I've had in my stash for a long time. It's not very waxy anymore. This is a little tag, price tag with a B, and then a little circle that says B, a little the Tim Holtz piece that I dug out with a bulb pin and pinned it in place and hung them both there. A little tuck from another Tim Holtz piece, a ticket, and a piece of fabric. This is another Tim Holtz piece, I think, from one of the ephemera packages. Piece of that ribbon again, it says Queen Bee, and it's on a little bit of paper that I've inked pretty heavily with the mustard seed distress ink. This is stamped with mustard seed ink, and whoops. I'm trying to think why that's. Oh, I stamped this with London Fog, Memento London Fog ink, just because. It took me a minute to remember why it was so pale. And I can't remember what that is. Forgive me. Oh, it's just the little flowers off the edge of this. I stamped them over there. Didn't want to waste the ink. And a little bit of washi on this beautifully modeled coffee dyed paper. And a little pocket with just, I think there's only one tag there. Another Tim Holtz piece. Another little pocket with the honeycomb paper, not the honeycomb paper, the honey paper. And there's no tie on that. I'll have to remember to put one on there. Let's see. There's the actual honey paper, a whole sheet of it, again with that really richly coffee-dyed paper. Look how light it is on that side and how yummy dark it is on that side. A little envelope with, it's just held in place with a Tim Holtz tiny paper clip, and it's just got a few sheets of coffee-dyed paper in there for extra note-taking. This is actually it's parchment paper that I used in the dyeing process, and I put a few pieces in the book. Somehow I skipped that on the other side, but anyway, and that's more stamping with the London Fog ink. A pocket with some lace and a little bit of the bee fabric. And it's just a torn piece of coffee-dyed paper inked up on that little pocket. And there's the last piece of patterned paper with a little another little envelope that's actually glued in place for a pocket, and another Tim Holtz tiny paper clip and a tag. There's my yummy paper again, and there's the back pocket with some of another type of ribbon that was included in that packet. So that's that little one. Like I said, this one is almost identical, so I'm just going to go through it very, very quickly. The outside is quite a bit different. I tied it with a piece of black, and I have to untie this one because it's actually attached underneath this little embellishment that I made with a piece of stamped fabric, and there's actually some tulle under there, and I was just checking to see if there was any cheesecloth, but there's not. So no pockets on the inside of this one. An embossed flower, or yeah, an embossed bee up here. There's that, more of that, parchment paper. Again, it's stamped. There's more of that ribbon. I love that ribbon. A little flip with an embellishment from the paper. This I have attached with a bulb pin with a couple of little beads. Another half pocket, or I guess I call it a quarter pocket, I'm not sure. I've got a little word tag here from Tim Holtz that says B, and I actually, it was from Ben, B-E-E-N, and I sacrificed the N and put that on there. That's just stamped on there. A little fabric flip, collage type thing with, I have a whole bunch of these daisies that I got for a project a while ago, and it's been fun to use them up in here. So this one is a little bit different. I did use those in there. And let's see, another bit of gathered ribbon, and I think, yeah, I actually stitched that by hand. It was before I got my new sewing machine, and then covered the stitching with the washi tape just because it was kind of bumpy. Another stamping, and this is another little booklet that I have 2 little paper clips on. This is another piece of ribbon from that kit, a stamp of the skeps, and another pocket with the skeps. This is just a little bit of a piece of a bee cut out from the collection on a bulb pin, on a little price tag. Some more of those daisies. I just glued a bit of coffee dyed paper here to make it usable as a place to journal. And this is just a little fold of ribbon with a little tag that says honey for that particular page. A couple of tags in just a piece of ribbon across for a tuck spot. Just a little a few pieces of ribbon. There's purple in several places throughout the paper, and so I decided to include a little touches of purple every now and then. And so that's what that is. Another stamp, more washi. Another layered bit here, 2 kinds of yellow ribbon and the queen bee ribbon. I embossed this very roughly, and then heat embossed it with gold embossing powder just for something a little different. Another glassine bag with a little bit of a embellishment there. Another little flip, a little paper pad, and see, there's a little bit of purple. I actually used some of that parchment paper to make this pocket. I folded it over a little bit of ribbon, and it's all just with a torn edge over that ribbon, and I kind of like the effect. A little chuck spot from a piece from the paper collection, from that cover section, and piece of lace with a piece of washi over it. And at the back we have a little tuck spot. And the tag is very snug. And that's that book. And we're starting to blink, so I'm going to move on to the next battery, and I'll be back with another video.